Assalamu alaikum. Hey, who out there talking to these youngsters out there? That's what I want to know. Who out there trying to guide these youngsters to a platform or to a place where they're safe and they're not thinking about doing things that are reckless and have themselves inside the penitentiary at least for a decade or 2 decades or 3 decades? I understand there's a lot of organizations out there helping the kids. You know, I have a friend that he helps kids, and I have other individuals that help kids. But it's like, you guys have to understand, man, that we have to try to save this youth, because we've been there and done that. If you've been to the jail, or you've been to the penitentiary, or you've been through some type of adversity, or whatever you may have been, whatever your experience was, it's our jobs to beat our feet and share this with them youngsters. Because you guys got to understand, man, that this Olympics is finna come up. It's finna creep up. I think it's 2028. And you guys got to understand that remember when we were small and the 1984 Olympics came around, y'all know what they did to us? They just start gaffling us up. They just start gaffling us up, put us in jail, put cases on us. Even when we just stayed up in there until the Olympics was over. That's what they was doing to some of us. Some of us out there on the streets, but you guys got to pay attention, man. They trying to gentrify all the communities, all the neighborhoods. They finna eradicate that gang stuff, man, for sure. And you guys got to pay attention, man, with the dominoes effect that is being transpired. So, and what they're gonna use is they using big use case as an example for all the brothers that's in every other section that even have the inkling or even have the inclination to do anything that he was trying to do out there. They're telling you, they're warning you, like, look, if you proceed in this particular manner, you're gonna get this particular reward. If you out there trying to be slick, we're gonna 3-tier tap you. We're gonna take all you guys and all your comrades and all your associates, and we're gonna take you guys off the streets. And if you have any property, we're gonna take that. If you have a business, we're gonna take that. This is what they're warning you about. They are warning you guys that this is in place. And this was finna go down, and this is finna be the protocol that they use to get at you, bro. So, it's like, we leave the youngsters out there, and we don't try to encourage them to go do something other than being hood. We still be trying to glorify that hood status. It's impossible for you to glorify the hood status, man, because the hood is not going to get you no 401k for sure. The hood is not going to get you on a retirement plan for sure. The hood might send your kids to college if you out there getting to that bag, but 9 times out of 10 it's only going to be like a 1% of individuals that does that. The hood is not going to buy you no house. The hood is not going to give you no 800 credit score. The hood is not going to look after your parents. The hood is not going to do a lot of things, man, that's going to be transpiring in your everyday life. So, my question is, if you're dealing with the kids and they don't have no felonies, why not steer them into a profession or into a trade where they can be more successful when they get older? Why not be a homeboy like that? Why not be a person that have a genuine concern for them youngsters out there as they move and navigate out through this jungle? Because this world right here, brother, is a jungle. And if you're paying attention to what's going on right now, bro, it's going to be good against evil, meaning right or wrong, and it's going to be the rich against the poor. And if we, as a as a people, meaning that I don't care what race or color you in. I'm talking about if you from the United States ghettos, and if you guys don't understand, man, that all that materialistic stuff is nothing, you ain't even gonna be trying to fight about that no more. You going to buy designer clothes, designer shoes, designer bag, Gucci belts, Louis belts, and all that. That's not even gonna exist anymore. It's gonna be the survival of the fittest. It's gonna be to the point where you're gonna have to get out there and survive to put food on your table, to find shelter for your family. If you look at the wages, man, I be looking at the wages when dudes be going to work. It takes one person, in order for you to sustain out here for one person, you know how much you got to make an hour? You got to make at least $40 an hour just to sustain, to take care of yourself, one person. One person. Now, if you got two people in the income coming in a household, you may survive like that. If you guys are splitting everything. If you're splitting everything. But if you're the man of the house and you're taking care of the house and you got kids and your girl's not working or things of that nature, you're gonna you need at least $40 an hour. Because if you don't, you're gonna get right back out there and do what you need to do. And that's when love don't make no sense. So who's gonna say the youngsters, man? Y'all call them YNs and y'all talking about they ain't got no guides, they don't want to listen to nobody. Yeah, they will listen, bro. If you guide them brothers in the right direction, if you tell them brothers, man, that there's a different way to make sure their economic growth can be on a different plateau, on a different level, they will listen, man. But you old Negroes, you guys ain't got nothing to offer, man. Some of you dudes got these jobs in neighborhoods or in the hood. You guys have these jobs. Y'all ain't doing nothing but smoking weed all day. You taking a drink. You got some female coming to see you. Probably some hood rat coming over there to see you. You know. And then you just sitting in the neighborhood and you just smoking. You high as a motherfucker. You can't even think past your face. And then you sit there and you think you have some type of status because you lived over there longer than somebody else. Or you was banging before somebody else. But you still have the mentality of one of them YNs. One of them youngsters. You still run around doing what the youngsters do. You're trying to fit in and adapt what the youngsters is doing. So how you call yourself a big homie, or how you call yourself a leader, and you doing the same shit them kids is doing? You're supposed to be doing the opposite of them. You're supposed to be setting an example for them. But a lot of times we don't. We trying to keep up with the kids. Man, them kids are doing the same shit we was doing when we was kids. The same shit. And if you don't see it differently, there's something wrong with you. But like I always say, man, is if you're a gang member or you're a big homie and you have the mentality of a 15, 13, 14-year-old, there's something mentally wrong with you, bro. You need to go get some help. You need to check yourself into something, or you need to go to therapy. You need to do something with your life. If you ain't trying to establish no economic growth for you and your family, there's something wrong with you, man. If you're on the internet all day long and you sitting there, you trolling, you worried about this, was worried about that, and you have no control over whatever was going on in society, there's something wrong with you, man. If you're on the internet believing everything that you hear, there's something wrong with you. I'm telling you. Pay attention to these YouTubers, man. And I'm going to tell you about these YouTubers, bro. It's called, you guys know what clickbait is, right? They'll put up a title and say, let's say, rolling through the neighborhood or function in the hood or something like that. They'll put a clickbait like somebody get killed in the hood. And all you doing is just kicking in the hood, but ain't nobody demise on the hood. So what they do is it's called wordplay. What they do is they'll put up a wordplay and to get your attention, to get them to come to your channel or to get them to see what you got going on, but you really don't know what's going on. You know? I hear dudes sometimes they mention me on there and I laugh because they don't know me from nothing, bro. They do not know me, bro. They may get false information from another individual. They may think this way, may think that way, bro, but they do not know me at all, bro. And I laugh at it, man. When somebody says something about me and ain't true, brother, I get a kick out of it because I want you to believe that. Keep on believing that shit. I don't care because I know for certain that you don't know who I am. First of all, I'm not in your hood. I'm in nobody's hood. I don't live in nobody's hood. I don't go to hood functions. I don't go to hood days. I don't go to hood funerals. I don't go to hood, none of that type of stuff, bro. And to be honest with you, they didn't have no motherfucking hood days when I was growing up, bro. Our hood day was every day, all day, every day, inside the neighborhood on 10th Avenue or where we was, Cal backyard or where we was at, brother. Them was our hood day. They didn't have none of that shit. You know what them hood days is, bro? Them hood days is designed, pay attention to this, to design to get everybody together to identify who's a gang member or for the police to come hit and sweep and raid and take everybody to jail that's on probation or parole that have the condition that they don't supposed to be around gang members, or for them to come take you to jail because you have warrants. That's what hood days are for, bro. So if anybody have any, like on probation or parole, or they have warrants or anything like that, I advise you not to go to hood days. I advise you to keep on doing what you're doing, stay out the way, get off parole, get off probation, and then maybe you can go to your hood day. But I'm telling you, brother, when you go to hood days, dude, you're being identified. Because in every section and every hood, they got CIs, bro. They got confidential informant. And it's more than one confidential informant. Them dudes is out there working. Them dudes is getting to the bag out there working. They selling drugs. They selling mollies. They selling meth. They selling whatever they selling out there. They selling weed. And they still getting a check every year. And they every year from the government. Probably like over 80 or 90. Or it might be $100K a year. So they getting double paid. So them dudes, they loving their job. That's cold, huh? You see that? Boy, that's so vicious. That's cold, man. Because I'm gonna tell you why it's so cold. Here it is, they making damn near, if you was a hustler, you was a street hustler, right? If you know what you're doing, you probably making you $100K or better if you a hustler. And now just say for instance you're a double agent. And you're a double agent. And you get $80,000 a year, and you making another 100 on your own. You making 100. You making 180 a year. Who would not want a job like that, bro? Huh? They can gang bang, they can smoke weed, they can get drunk, they can fuck bitches. You know, they can have some type of status, and they making 180 years just to inform the law enforcement what the hell is going on inside your section. Because you got a lot of them over there, bro. And like I said, it's not just one hood. It's in every section, bro. They got confidential informants everywhere, bro. And you can't even get mad at them, especially if you're not in the game. See me, I'm not in the game anymore. So if you're a confidential informant, hey, man, more power to you. Go do your job. Do what you need to do. Hey, man. I'm over here in this lane. I'm over here in this bougie lane with, with all these white folks over here by this beach area. You know, I rub my elbow and shoulders with different individuals, and that's how I live. And that's how I get to my bag. So I can't, there's not going to be no confidential informants too much over in certain areas, because when you square up, you just square up, bro. And if you're over 50, you'll be a damn fool to still be in the streets, bro. So my thing is like, for the youngsters who are going to man up or woman up to try to guide these dudes in the right direction, man. I'm gonna tell you where a lot of dudes go wrong at. Let's say, for instance, like if you have power over the organization and you taking care of the kids, and the kids are playing football. Let's go with that scenario, right? We know that every kid that's playing football is not gonna make it to the league. We understand that, right? So why not find out what the kid is good at and tell him he can still be a part of this community. He can still rep your community, but he's gonna be this. Okay, man, you go to school, you're gonna be a lawyer, you're gonna be a doctor. Hey, man, we need for you to go off into the law enforcement, man. We need for you to be a congressman, or we need for you to be a fireman. We need for you to be a doctor. We need for you to be a nurse. We need for you to be this and this and that. We need for you to be in a position so we can preserve our neighborhood, our community. What's wrong with that? Why y'all can't bang like that? Why did everything got to be a part of a gang or organization or some type of entity got to be the negative? Why it can't be on the other side? Where the brains at, man, in this gang culture? Where's the brothers that say they OGs, or they these type of individuals, man, that they know every damn thing, man? Where is the level of integrity? Where is it at? When you gonna shit that say, okay, man, dudes be saying, man, oh man, the Crips, man, that's that don't mean, we Crips, but the real meaning of Crips mean this. And if you're a real Crip, you'll know what the real meaning is. Community, revolution, and progress. Right? Where's that at? I don't see that. You have the community, but where's the revolution? Where's the in progress at? Think about that, man. Save the kids, bro. God willing, save the kids, man. Think on a higher level, bro. They can be a part of y'all section. I'm not saying they can't, because that's probably the only thing that they know. But hey, put them in a position where they can win. Assalamu alaikum.